Yeah, good morning. Good morning from here. I have with me today a very good friend. I'm just seeing for the first time. Faithfulness Okoli. You're welcome for this book review. Please confirm you can hear me.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone.
Yeah. All right. So
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
today we'll be reviewing Unlock It by Dan Lok. I'll just give a brief summary of the book before we dive into chapter by chapter. Please again, faithfulness, please confirm you can hear me very well at your end.
Yes, I can hear you very well.
All right. So Unlock It by Dan Lok is a guide to achieving wealth, success, and significance by following some structured system. And I think that this is the reason why I love this book because this is a structured system that you can follow and you can be sure that you will get a very good result at the end. So instead of the present wealth triangle as a master key, first is to develop a high income skill, then build a scalable business, then finally, you have high return investment. So these are the three aspects that this book is anchored on. So the book is designed to help the readers to identify where they are stuck using wealth archetypes, and which we are going to dive into very soon. Then provide specific strategy needed to advance the next stage of financial and personal freedom. I believe this book is well encompassing. Like I mentioned to I posted yesterday. I said if this is the only book you can read for a year and you give yourself to
Yes.
doing everything that is inside, I can guarantee that your business cannot remain the same. I can guarantee that. So let's dive into the book. We started from chapter zero, chapter zero to chapter, hopefully we'll be able to get to chapter eight today in the few, time we have. So I would allow faithfulness speak. What do you think, or what do you see chapter zero to be about?
Okay. Chapter 0 talked about his life in general, how a poor Asian boy who migrated to Canada was able to build a scalable business, was able to gain wealth over time, and how it struggles. I love that it spoke about the struggles you face as a poor immigrant could face in um, Canada. How he struggled with the language. He struggled with even at the point I think he had like low self esteem, and
Yeah.
even with that, it did not stop. It was pushing towards doing more. And I love when he got to that point and he realized that no, he should do better because he after his mom bought him the electronic dictionary that was and he was
Mm-hmm.
bullied out of, and then he realized, oh, he cannot continue like this. His mom
Mm-hmm.
suffered to do that for him, and he wanted to do better and decided to get a job get a job
Mm-hmm.
with get a packing job or something. And when he worked for like eight hours a day and saw the income, is like, where is this supposed to what is this supposed to do with this and all. I like that they just talked about how you don't necessarily have to like come from something big to become big.
Mm-hmm.
Being big is a
Yeah.
mindset thing, and you can always start from wherever you are, and the opportunities that are there for you. I feel like that's what chapter 0 was about. It's general life, his
Perfect.
life in general, and what
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
do.
Perfect. I think the big thing for me in chapter zero was the mindset, starting from where you are. He was able to do all he could to make sure that it does not remain in that. And I think for us in Nigeria, we are much more laid back. We believe that once you don't have some privileges, you just feel that life is not for you, and people just
Mm,
zone in. He was disadvantaged on all sides. I mean, he was an immigrant, he didn't have money, the dad was not available, the mom was
Mm,
struggling, he had all the odds. But there were four stages that stood out for me. Number one is the survivor stage. It was once,
yeah,
and many people are actually right now in survivor stage, where all you are doing is just to put food in your mouth.
in the good.
So he moved from survivor stage to security stage. How to now,
Mm,
okay, now I can put food in my mouth by mowing lawn for other people and not even
yeah,
getting paid, just to have access to their machine. Then he moved to security stage. Okay, how do I make sure that I don't lose this money? Despite that, he lost
mm,
all the money. And
yeah,
this is one part that people don't like, because you don't want to work a lot and lose all the money you earn. Then from
yeah.
losing the money, he went on to become successful by
Success,
repeating the things that worked for him before. Then the last part is the significance, where he now help
significant.
people from all over the world, almost like 100 countries in the world. So that was very, very, I think also that pain is not always the end. Pain is not always the end. Most people dwell too much in their pain. I believe that there is always an opportunity in pain.
To use your pain.
If you look at the good side of pain, some people became worthy just because they went through a pain that they never would want anybody to go through. So,
Yeah.
and sometimes pain is a pointer to the problem you are called to solve. If you
Mm,
look at our lives right now, the most of the things we will do in the future, or we are doing right now, are pointers to what we have suffered in the past. Even the
that's
book,
true.
why is Dan Lok not writing a book on relationships? I've listened to some of his podcasts on relationships, but he had to write on business because that was the pain. He went
Yeah.
through all those. So when he came out, he was able to write something very, very detailed that could help many more people on business. So that
Mm,
stood out for me. I should also say that people also, which is not bad, but that is the survival level. If all we do
yes.
in life is just to put food in our mouth, then we have all men most miserable, because there's more to life than putting food in your mouth. I mean, you are called to help people. So that is
Mm,
that for me. Maybe I will have loved to ask, based on the book, that is it still feasible to decide to help people without, should I say, volunteer to help people when you are not sure that um, use your time to volunteer to help people without getting something monetary in return? What is your
mm.
perspective about that? I have a skill, I want to make money, but the person I want to work for does not yet believe in me, so I'm volunteering to help the person for free. You don't know how long. What do you think about that?
I think that well, money is not like the money is not the um basics for life. You are helping someone you are working, you are giving your skill for free. You are also gaining, even if there's no monetary benefit to it. One, you are sharpening your skill. Two, you could always still use it you are sharpening your skill, you are sharpening your portfolio. And
So how about
it's
you are sharpening your skill and you are hungry?
yes. I know I am hungry. I don't think that I feel like we might actually still have another way to get money. It depends on where I don't know how do I explain this now. Um Me personally, I really do not think that money is the basis for which I'll do a lot of things. For which I'll do some things. So yes, I also know that I need money to do things, but is it the core of my being? Is it money that I am really, really looking out for? I feel like I'm
Mm,
looking out for value. I'm looking
okay.
out for yeah, value. And one of my favorite creed in JCI was that last line: service to humanity, the best work of life. The last line of the
Yeah.
creed, rather, because when you are serving humanity, most times even your money goes into it. and you are
Yeah.
not gaining anything monetary in return. But I realized that you will still reap the benefits of that work, albeit
Yeah.
not now. You will still reap the benefit of that work, and the money you were looking out for then might also still come back to you because you did something in the past.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's sometimes money, you will still reap the benefit even if it doesn't come at
Yeah.
that
I
like
think let me
right on
come in
the
here. So I've also been in that loop before, and I've also had this experience where people exploit your availability when they see that you are
mm,
very available, you want to do anything to just, just to give value, then they now have a perspective about you that, okay, this guy, whatever we give him, he'll collect it and he'll do whatever I want him to do. So some people take advantage of that. So what I advise people to do is to now count your cost. Every time you want to give value, you want to be part of people's, journey, or you want to volunteer, what is it? What is in it for you? You have to be very clear. You cannot volunteer to help everybody. If not, you'll be helping everybody and you'll be very, very grounded. Though at the end of it all, some you get returns from some and some will just use you and leave. So before you volunteer for people, know, okay, what am I standing to gain? It might not be money, it might be their visibility, it might be their knowledge, it might be their access. So there are some people that you don't need to do it for free for them. You might just put it on a discount. Okay, I can do this, I
mm,
can put it on the discount, I can partner with you. As long as you have the value already, you have to also present yourself valuable. So most people get grounded because you want to just volunteer at all costs because you feel that there's a bit of low self-esteem in volunteering also. You feel, well, I don't
mm,
have anything, I don't have anything to lose. I can just volunteer my time. And some people take advantage of that. So before you volunteer, look at it, count your cost. Why am I doing this? Okay, this person can give me access. Okay, I can do this for 2 years. And once you have this predetermination, even if the person does not value what you do for the next 2 years, you are good because you have settled it in yourself. Okay, I'm going to
mm,
do this for 2 years. Then
mm,
after 2 years, review it. Do I still want to continue with this? No, no, no. It
mm,
doesn't. This person does not look like is valuing. So move on. Sometimes it is at the point when you want to move on. That is when the person now call you back and say, no, you can't move. That is when the person will start valuing what you are doing. But if you don't intend to move on, forget it might be there. And you now get frustrated and now fight the person. And once you fight the
mm.
person, you have scattered everything you have built in the last 2 years.
True, true, true.
So, because of time, let's move on to chapter
One,
one, which is unlock your wealth.
you're
So,
one.
Dan Lok, debunk common wealth myth and introduce some fundamental concepts in this book. Number one, which is hustle and work harder. It is, people speak against hustle. Hustle is not really a sweet word, but when you are starting out, you have to grind, you have to do the work. You have to work as if there's no God and serve God as if there's no work.
See, there's no
All
one.
those two, yeah, exactly. Yes, you have to put in the effort. So someone said the before you can be competent in anything, you must have invested 100 hours.
Mm,
100 hours. And I tell people, count the hours. Don't just assume that you've gotten to 100. So before you can say, I can handle podcast session very well, count 100 hours.
hours.
Before you can say that I can, what else? I can bake. Have you baked 100 hours? So it has to be calculated. Then someone said before you can say you're an expert in anything, you must have done 10,000 hours. So if we intentionally count these hours before you even get to 100 hours, you see that things will have started working. But
Mm,
most of us assume that, "Oh, I've done this for 2 years, but in the space of 2 years, have you counted 100 hours?"
100
Most people
hours.
have not. Most people have not. So also work hard is very, very. So money is a byproduct of value creation. You have to create value to earn money. No matter how you see it, value has to be created. And number two is start a business.
Yeah.
Why not everybody will own a business? I believe that no matter where we are, especially in this world that we are right now, you can turn your skill to a business. Someone
Mm,
asked a question, said, can we turn our passion to money? And someone responded, said, no, your passion does not have to earn you money. Your passion is your passion. You can do it for free. But I don't think it's totally right. If it is your passion, it should create value. And every time you create value, there is always a return on value. Might not be money in an instant, but there's always a return. So whatever you do as a skill, you're a content creator, you're a brand strategist, you know how to laugh, you know how to joke, you know how to talk. All these things can become a business. If only you can put structures around them such that people now see it as a brand. People see it as a brand. So most people start for wrong reasons. People start a business because they want to make money, but start a business
Mm,
because you want to create value, like what Dan Lok said. Then also another aspect is passive income. And there are things that you can do that can bring money passively, and it could be very small. It could be very, very small. But that idea has to be there that, okay, this I'm doing is bringing passive income in a way.
income.
Then financial freedom is the cap of it. You get to a point where you know that with or without doing anything, money is still
Yeah.
flowing in.
Come.
So I would stop here. Perhaps you have something to say as regard unlock your wealth.
Oh, okay. I really loved the I loved what the chapter was about, because when he talked about value, creating value to get wealth, the fact that you cannot say you are looking for, you are in need of money or wealth, and you don't have anything that you want to offer in return. I feel like that was a word that struck out to me, and then I got to underline that you always have something to give, you always have something to churn out, and that thing that you
Mm,
have to churn out will definitely give you the wealth in return. I like that he talked about how the value he gave out was being a writer, how he wrote copyrights, and wrote several copyrights, and then he got money in return. And I think that was where he talked about the story of him writing, and his his mentor told him to, double his price, and after the first year, and then later I told him to double
yeah,
the price again. And because he had gotten to a place where he was creating value that was worth that price, he
yeah.
was shocked that people retained him, even if he did it at first with shock,
Hmm.
with fear, thinking that he was going to lose his customers, his clients rather. He was going to
Hmm.
lose his clients, but they stayed still because he was creating value, he was giving out value.
Yeah.
So there is so much more to us that there's so much value that we carry, that we can always, exchange
I have a
for wealth.
question here.
Okay.
Have you ever been in a situation where you feel you don't really have something to offer for money? I've been in that
Ah,
situation before. I don't think I have something to really give out to get money from people.
I, I think I have been in that situation, and then listened to someone, and I realized that it's actually impossible for you to not have something to give out. You probably don't know that you have that thing to give out. So I think what I heard was the person said, what you've been doing for 2 years, except you've been idle for 2 years or idle for a particular period of time, you can always give out that value in return. So if you've been doing, I don't know, even if you went to school and you studied for 4 years, you can always write something about what you did in school. Just write it and then publish it. I mean, now there are online publishing. You can always sell your book online. Yes, you might not get so much in return, but that's the value, and you can always still acquire wealth from that. Yep, I
Okay,
think
so
that's
for
my answer.
people that for yeah, I like that. For you know, sometimes when you talk about these things, it looks very easy. I'm slowing down now because I've been in that situation before. People ask me questions and I just say, "Oh no, you of course you have value. What do you do?" And I break it and explain to them. But afterwards,
Mm,
I've come to understand that people have value, true, like you have said, but not everybody have realized it. Not everybody, because
Mm,
for someone that has not been appreciated for anything in life, not everybody, not people, you've been in a situation where they've always told you that this is not good enough. Go and change it, work on this, work on that. Or you have people around you that are doing very well and just look at like the smallest piece among them. How do
mm,
people now get to realize what they have as value?
mm. Ah, I feel like that's a very hard question because I think I understand people in that shoe, people that probably have been belittled because it takes a lot of you can do this before you can do it. I remember when I was going to like when I was in school and when my then what's the name president local organization president told me to be a co-host for to be the chairperson rather for um a COVID-19 awareness campaign or something. And I felt like,
Okay.
what do you see in me? Why would you make me do something like that? And I feel like for
Mm,
people like that, they have to just bring themselves out. You just have to
okay.
just try it. Just try it because you really don't know what you can do except you try it. I really did not
Yeah.
know that I could be a chairperson for something like that because I'm always like in my shell, closed up. I don't want anybody to see me or know me or that.
Yeah.
But the moment
Yeah.
he told me to do it and he didn't give me any option, he did not, he just said, you're the chairperson for so. Go and start it. Think about it. Just
Wow.
come up with your plan of action, come up with your budget, come up with this. And I did it and I did not die. And that's when I realized that I
Wow.
could actually do this stuff. It's just that
Awesome.
I did not know that I could do it. So
Yeah.
expose yourself, bring
I think
yourself out.
I
Don't
agree with that.
be,
Yeah, I agree with that. I also want to say that what you said is very true. Expose yourself, take responsibilities, no matter how
mm,
hard they are. And that's what JCI does for you. Put you in a
mm,
shoe where you have to just do it. And another thing I think, and we say this also, and it looks very simple when you say take responsibility, but people have taken responsibility in the past and it burnt them because they
ah,
now realize that they were not capable, not because they were not actually capable, but there was no system that could aid
yeah,
them to perform. And this is why DCI is very sweet because there are people that have done it before that can hold
yes,
your hand and say, this is how to do it. If only you
to
can
do it.
listen and follow, you would surely get results. So when you are putting yourself out there, make sure you have people you can always run back to because you will fail. Someone said something. He said, what is the most important skill for young people to learn that are just starting out? And I was expecting him to say, communication, selling skill, but he said, try again.
Mm,
I said, okay, is that a skill? He said, yes. He said it's a soft skill because when you are starting out, you will fail over and over again. So you have to learn
over
to try again and again. Then number two is get a mentor.
mm,
You might not call it a mentor, but get somebody you can always ask questions.
question.
So before AI came, the powerful people are people that can answer questions. If you have answers to questions, you are very, very influential and very powerful. But in the advent of AI, the most influential people are people, might not be influential, but the most, I won't call it powerful also, are people that can
Mm,
ask unique and important questions because the answers are readily available. There's nothing you want to learn that the answers are not right now
I know
available.
them.
So it depends on the question you ask that will give you the answer you can get. So we
Mm,
cannot use ChatGPT, but we'll get different answer because the way we is what people call prompt engineering. The way we ask it determines the
yeah,
question you get in return.
the
So
answer
that's
you
very,
get
very
in
powerful.
return.
I think that could help someone. That could really help
Yeah,
someone take opportunities, get someone you can always speak to. And when you also have a mentor, especially mentors that can structure your journey, that can give you pathways, that can put you in shoes that on and on you might not want to step into. But because they've told you do it and behind you, you will definitely
mm,
get the result.
yes, yes.
So let's go to chapter 2. Let's go to chapter 2, which is
The
unlock your
web
wealth archetype.
archetypes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I really loved this chapter. Well, I loved every chapter of the book because I think it resonated with me a lot. Like the first archetype was the cage lion. The cage
Mm-hmm.
lion was the cage lion was the 9 to 5. Okay, let me
Employees.
describe. The cage lion was someone that knows that he could do better, but is scared of
Yeah.
leaving the is scared of living where he knows that he has like a steady source of income. So he knows that
Yeah.
if he stays here, like a lion knows that even if he stays in the cage, okay, let me let me just describe the way the lion is. So the lion was taken from the jungle and then placed in
Mm-hmm.
the cage for a particular period of time.
Yeah.
He was placed in the cage and was trapped there. And then the lion, after a while was struggling and was like he was going to leave the cage and all. But after I stayed there for a while, he realized that he was trapped there. And
Mm-hmm.
the what's the name? The tender threw him a piece of meat, threw the lion a piece of meat. And at first he didn't want to eat the meat. But when
Yeah.
hunger came, he ate the meat, and then the next day he ate
The
it again, and
hunger
then
hunger
until
came.
it became his lifestyle. And at that
Yeah.
point, the lion no longer thought about the jungle. The lion now became
Mm.
someone that is now
Has to
scared
be
of
fed.
is scared of the unknown. If he leaves this cage,
Mm-hmm.
is he sure that he can still, trap, he can still hunt and get meat for
Yeah.
itself? And the fact
Yeah.
that this lion, represents the 9 to 5 worker that knows that they could do more by themselves,
Mm-hmm.
but they
Yeah.
are scared of living where they have a stable source of income, where they know that if they just stay at the end of the month something is coming in. And the next archetype was the cage magician. This
But
one is
before you go there,
okay.
lion has everything it takes to hunt for
Yes.
itself. That means the cage did something to the lion,
Yes.
which affected the mentality. So what you are trying to say is that 9 to 5 people, not because they cannot start a business or make more, but
Hmm.
that cage of 9 to 5 has done something to their mindset. Now they are
Hmm.
scared that if I start this business, will it work? So they just stay
Hmm.
there for the rest of their life.
And they are not happy.
And yeah, exactly. So it's not bad. It's not bad. But the fact that
Yeah.
they are not happy about it is not the issue.
Hmm.
But if you are very happy about it, it's working well for you,
It's what.
good. But if
Yes.
you are not now satisfied, why not try other aspects and see what will come out
Aspects.
of it?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So let's go to the next
So,
one.
so the chained magician, the chained magician is describing, someone that can do, like a magician does shows, can create magic outside, but is chained eh, by life challenges of my
Mm-hmm.
parents or family or environment telling them that they cannot do that, you cannot do this. How do you
Mm.
think that you're going to be the first person in in this environment to do this? and
Yeah.
and I think that it resonates with the Nigerian persona, like
Very
a
well.
Nigerian creative, especially because the conventional thought is, okay, go to school, become an engineer,
Mm-hmm.
become a doctor, become
Mm-hmm.
a professional, a that. And there are people that just want to be a creative, explore themselves, be an artist, be this, because that's where they really find expression. And I
Yeah.
really loved that archetype because if we look out, especially with the current with the youth outside currently, we realize that we
Mm-hmm.
have so many magicians that are changed because
Yeah.
everybody expects that they do this, they do that, but
Yeah.
that is not
Become
what
a
they
doctor,
want to do.
lawyer, pilot,
Yeah,
engineer.
exactly. But that's not what they want to do. That is not who they are. And so they are just like restricted. They are restricted to do the societal norm instead of
Yeah.
being who they are. Then the other archetype is the is the hustling treasure hunter. So this
Mm-hmm.
hustling treasure hunter is always looking out for the next big thing. He's always
That's
looking
big.
out for. So he hears that he hears that there's gold or there's treasure in so place, and then he moves to that part, and then he starts searching for it. But before you get to the treasure yourself itself, you hear again that there is something big again somewhere else. You change direction to that other part. People like this will never like will never get the depth of what they are looking for, because before
Yeah.
you search for that gold that you're looking for, before you get the treasure that you're
Mm-hmm.
looking for, even if you were like few meters away, they keep looking like they are working hard. So that's
Yeah.
the bad thing about it. Everybody feels like, this person is working hard. Why has he not have this big break? But the
Mm.
person is not a smart or wise person, because you will never get that big break. Because instead of putting in
Yeah.
your 100 hours placed in one direction, will produce a
Mm-hmm.
better result than splitting that 100 hours into 10 different things. So if
True.
you now end up spending 1 hour on this stuff, one hour on this stuff, 1 hour on another thing, you don't even know how to do
Yeah.
those things that you spend. Not like you didn't spend the 1 hour, the 100 hour rather,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
you are spending it on different things so that you don't
Different
attain
things.
mastery at anything. You can't say that you
Anything.
can do anything properly. You
Yeah, I
can't
think
say
I
that
should
you
come
can.
in here.
Okay.
So, what you have said is very true. I'm just thinking from people's perspective. Everybody. So there's a word that people say that don't put all your eggs in one basket.
In one basket.
You know, multitask, diversify. But I want to say that when you are starting out, it's good to start with one thing. Focus is very,
Mm,
very important. Start with one thing, push it to a point where anybody that sees it knows that you have done your best. It's not just working. There are some things that you do for 10 years might not just work. There are some people that
yes.
are running fast to the back. They are running
Mm,
fast back to the back. So there are some things like that, but you have to do it so well. There are some skills that might not earn you so much right now compared to 20 years ago, but you have to
mm,
do it. And when we look at people that have gone far, we want to be in their shoes. We want to make the same similar impact or make money as they're making right now. But if you look at where they started from, they've been doing this thing for 20 years. They've been doing this thing for 15, 10 years. So even if you chose to sell it well enough, everybody around you. So the idea of doing a business is not only to make money, is to
mm,
do it well enough that people can now trust that you are reliable.
mm,
They can trust you that whatever you do it so well. People will now start referring you to other things or committing other things to you because of the diligence they have seen in what you've been doing in the past.
mm.
So what you are doing might not give you the breakthrough, but might give you the trust that you need to scale into something else.
Something else.
I want to say this again because sometimes when we do business, we think, okay, say for instance, I run a laundry business. I'm thinking that, okay, is the laundry business that will buy me my car or that will build me my
Mm,
house? Might not be so. Might just be that there is a client you have that patronizes you and sees your diligence and said, this guy, I love the way he carries out his business. Now I
mm,
have, okay, let's say the person traveled out of the country, wants to build an apartment for himself, and says, okay, the only person I can trust is this my laundry guy because of his diligence. Help me
mm,
handle this project. Then commit his funds to you, such that when you now execute the project, and now you could now feel that, okay, this guy, do you even have a house? And you say, maybe no.
mm,
Okay, let's start building your own house or
mm,
let's start a real estate company. You
mm.
handle it. So that is why we work, to gain that trust with people that will give us access to bigger things in life. I just wanted to say that. Let's continue, please.
Okay. So the next uh, category was the innocent,
Archetype,
I
yeah.
think, prisoner, and
Prisoner, yeah.
Yes, and it was describing, people that do a particular work for a long time, and then at the end of the day, they don't realize that they've actually been caged in that stuff. They don't find full expression of who they are because
Mm-hmm.
they've been in that stuff, and describe professionals like
Mm-hmm.
doctors and yes, it's not like they're not doing something good. It's just that at the end of the day, they lose valuable time that they could have had to explore themselves. So you've caged your youth, you spent your entire time doing
Mm-hmm.
something, and
Yeah.
you still don't feel fulfilled. I think fulfilled is the word. You don't feel
Yeah.
fulfilled after a long period of time because you end up realizing that you've lost family time, you've lost
Mm.
time to even do the things that you thought you were going to do. You realize that the things that you told yourself that you were going to do
Mm.
while
Yeah.
growing up, you might have had like a list of bucket list that you wanted to check, and when
Mm-hmm.
life got tough, you now started this work, and before you closed and open your eyes, 40 years has gone past. And when you look back, you're not like, what did I do with my time? And the story of the person that was illustrated here, and it's sad that I think it's a real life story, was of a man that spent about 40 years, I mean 20 years or 20 something years plus of his life pursuing that career because he wanted to, pursuing the next promotion and the next promotion, and he did not even realize that
Mm-hmm.
he was not he was not functional at home. His wife was not. His wife cheated on him. And he was broken down, and
Yeah.
he felt that he said he lost his passion because he thought he was going to tour the world before
Yeah.
at a particular age, and then when he's looking back, the world he did not talk. His family was nothing,
Everything.
and he
Yeah.
was just feeling really bad that he spent, and I think he even um forgot his father's burial. He did not attend his father's burial or
Yeah. You know.
something
Yeah.
because he was pursuing money, pursuing
So, what do you
the
suggest those
profession.
kind of people do instead?
I feel like there might be like a balance. There should always be a balance because at the end of the day, what matters? Is it the value system? What matters? Is it the money or your personally? I feel like any job that will take you out of your family time, any job um that will take so much of your time that you forget yourself, is probably not
Mm.
worth it. Because if
Yeah.
you there's a fulfillment that you should still have, if except you're happy
Yeah.
with it too. But if you're not happy with what you're doing, it's not, I don't know, it's not worth it for me. I know that the
I think
world
I
is
should
tough,
just
but
add. I think I should just add that people don't pause and reflect.
mm,
So if the guy could have paused and said, "Wait, I've done this for 10 years," and that is why it's good to
mm,
put a margin. I'm going to do this business for the next 10 years without looking back. I want to see what will come out of it. When you get to that point, pause and look back and say, "Okay, should I still go ahead?" Then also people should have people that they can ask questions from. Look at what I'm doing. I don't find fulfillment in. What do you think? Do you think I should still continue? People that have gone ahead,
mm,
they would open your eye. They could just say a word that would give you a light bulb. I was okay. And I think that is very, very important. That's what
yeah.
I would like to say.
Okay, so the next category was the castaway. The castaway
Castaway.
is the solo entrepreneur that thinks that he can do everything on his own. And then at the end of the day, the person is just burnt out. So you want to eat now, you have to go out to, you know, you have to go out to fish. And then when you've
Mm.
exhausted that one again, you have to still go back out again to
Mhm.
fish again. And to achieve accomplishments is now difficult because you are on your own. You are doing everything by yourself.
Yeah.
You are you are now like a one-man soldier doing so many
Hmm.
I don't know that you don't do so much because there's only
You
so
don't do,
much you
yeah,
can do as an individual.
you
You're
can
just
do.
one
So
person.
what do you
You
advise
cannot
as
mm, you
what do you
cannot
advise?
what will I advise that person? I feel like
Yeah, yeah.
this life is not made for just one person. I think because even the Bible says that it is not good for a man to be alone. I'll create an helpmate
Mm,
for him. So there's this thing about community. Meet people,
mm,
interact with people, be in a community that can help you, so that you don't
yeah,
have to do everything by yourself. Because when
yes,
that's why
it's true.
people are there. That's why we like God created people. That's why we have
Mm-hmm.
people around you that can, help you work together to achieve that goal. So you don't, at the end of the day, you're not spending you're not burnt out, exhausted with every
Yeah, true.
accomplishment, because
Yeah,
there are people around you to help you, there are people around you to hold your hands to do achieve success. So I think that's what I have to say about the
I agree.
castaway.
Yes, true. Yeah.
And then the last category was the unfulfilled king and queen.
King of yeah.
This the unfulfilled king and queen, these ones are never satisfied. They are never fulfilled. They are just so it's hard to be satisfied with anything, because they know they're the category of people that from when they were young, they've always been the achiever. They're always looking up for
Mm-hmm.
the next big thing.
Next big
So
thing. Yeah.
you achieve once they get something now. Take Instead of taking time to relax and soak in that accomplishment, they are on the move for the next big thing. So what is the next thing to achieve? What is the next thing to achieve? What is the next thing to achieve? And I feel like it is a never ending race if you are always on
Yeah.
the move looking for the next thing. The world is so big. Where you think that you've gotten to is where someone is starting from. So if
Exactly.
you are not,
Exactly.
just relax, soak in what you have, not being complacent anyways, but relax and
Mm-hmm.
soak in what you have at a particular time. Because
Yeah.
if you keep looking out, the world will keep showing you things to pursue, and you are never going to
Yeah.
be happy, because you are not
Yeah.
happy. At the end of the day, the thing that you achieved is no longer important to you. It is the next thing that you're looking
True.
out for, and you are just unfulfilled and just sad, instead of being happy, even if you've achieved a lot. Yeah, I think those were the
Awesome.
7
Wow.
archetypes.
Wow.
Business archetypes.
For me, I think I enjoyed that chapter the most because it
Yeah,
describes people's life and it gave examples how people have been running races. It's to know is even good, but
yeah,
people do not even know they are in that loop. People have spent 80 years on earth and they died without even having the knowledge that they were in a loop.
and
And that's very sad. So the next is chapter 3. We are going to run very fast now because of time.
yeah,
Unlock your high income skill. And Dan Lok, since I've known him, there was a time when I was in school then I used to watch Dan Lok videos 3 hours from 1 to 3 a.m. every single day. I think for months.
wow,
I was just because the way he speaks resonates with just anybody, especially young people. And he's big on learning a skill because that
mm,
was what worked for him also. So he argues that we are in a skill economy, that everybody, no matter where you are in life, like we know people say that we're in a global village, there is no barrier. For me, that's a core part of my mindset that I don't need to wait till I have the phone to travel the world. I can have conversations with people in India, with people in China, with people in UK from my home. That is a skill. So
mm,
we need to learn skills that are scalable, skills that are not locked up in a state or in a country. You can have a design skill and service people in the US, service people in Canada is very, very
mm,
important. So having a skill and there's no excuse because any skill
yeah,
can be learned. There's no excuse. Okay, I can't speak, learn it. I can't write, learn it. So it's okay when they ask you, can you write? And you say, no, I can't. And that's the requirement. It's okay.
mm,
But after 3 months and they ask you again, can you write? And you say, no, I can't. Then they should ask you
yeah, that's
why.
it. Mhm.
Then you want to explain. when we have all the tools, all the necessary, platform that can help us. So skill is very, very important. And he also
mm,
majored on, he proposed that high income skill are very, very important because you get to, it's the same effort that you use to close small deal that you use to close bigger deals. I was watching
yes.
one guy yesterday for four, and he said people have overrated being able to close deals. They expect that any deal you pick up, you should be able to close it. It's very good. But when you're starting out, you get plenty rejections. You will get
Mm,
people who would say all manner of things to you. You get rejections all day. But Dan Lok now, he give us a better perspective that you don't have to do cold leads. You can sieve people through marketing such that
mm,
people that only get to you are people that are ready to pay or buy your product. So when you get on
mm,
the call with them, you are closing them. And that helped him
mm,
to close almost, 75 or 90% of the leads he has. So if you're in a business, look at how you can ensure that you see people that are not serious. So that the people that are getting to you can use, get their contact, have your lead magnets, make sure the people that are getting to you are people that are really interested. Might not buy now, but they are interested and will buy later. So that
yeah.
is what that chapter is all about. So I want you to go to chapter 4, unlock your lock.
But unlock your log, there was actually nothing there. I think you
I
just
wanted to say that.
yeah, there was nothing in the chapter.
So
The
it
next
was
chapter.
against the number 4, saying that it's a
Yes,
bad luck in their own culture. So
yes.
let's move to the next chapter.
The next chapter was unlock your personal power. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it was. I think I love the way the chapter started about how we have too many information on the internet and
Hmm.
how it can end up being, a bad thing because you have access to
Yeah.
too many information and at the end of the day you're not learning anything.
Hmm.
Sometimes you want to learn something and then you just search for it and then you see a lot of things. There's a way
Yeah.
it's
Give you
like
a mental block.
yes, because you don't know what to look out for anymore. So if you don't have like a channel, you don't have like a I think he said okay, and then he said look for wisdom instead of too many knowledge everywhere. Seek out for the
Yeah.
things that will be that is much more important to you.
Hmm.
And then another thing that it talked about in the book is the things that you know and the things that you don't know, and then the things that
Mm.
you don't know that you don't know. So
Yeah.
in the grand scheme of things, the things that we know is just like a little, it's just very small.
Hmm.
The things that we don't
Hmm.
know is bigger. And then there's a bigger
Hmm.
box, there's a bigger circle of the things that we don't
Yeah.
even know that
Don't
we
know.
don't know. Because you end
Don't
up
know.
thinking that
Yeah.
I know a lot of things, I know this, I know that. But
Mm.
you actually don't even know it. And you don't even know that there are things that you don't know. So I
True.
really loved that chapter. And then he also talked about, I think that's where he talked about the invisible chains, if I've not shoot past myself. And then talked about how um getting slow, getting rich slowly. Some people talk about
Yeah.
how um you should like just do things in pace and then get rich, but
Yeah.
get rich slowly. But actually,
Mm.
time wait for
Money
no
loves
man.
speed. Yeah.
Yes, money loves speed. So the amount of money that you make, if you make $40,000 or $1 million actually in 40 years, if you make a million
Mm-hmm.
dollars in 40 years, that's like a huge amount of money. But it
Mm-hmm.
is not the same thing as if you make that $1 million in a year.
Yeah.
So instead of saying get rich slowly, money is not it's some you would gain more if you made that same amount in a shorter time. And then I think
Yeah.
the next you make more if you make that money in a shorter time. And I think another thing is the your current self-image, yes. And then he said something about how knowing who you are, something like that. I think that's what
Yeah.
that chapter was about. Knowing who you are.
Yeah.
What
I
what
think you should
what
skip
what
those ones because
oh,
of
okay.
time. Yeah, let's keep those ones because of
Okay.
time. I
So
think you
what is the
mentioned
next?
negative friends, avoiding negative
Yeah,
friends
negative
and
friends and
family, your
family.
comfort zone, low
Oh,
EQ,
comfort zone.
emotional quotient. Yeah,
Yes, yes,
and trying to save everyone. This is very, very important. You mentioned
yes.
that you can't save everyone. Then
Mm-hmm.
he said, help yourself
Yes,
before you save the world. I want you
yes.
to take
And
30
I love the
seconds to speak about
illustration.
that. Yeah.
Okay, I love the illustration you used about crabs, like a container that
Yeah, yeah,
has
yeah.
many crabs in it, and how the tender of the crab was not scared that that the crabs will come out of the cage, because the other crab's goal is to push down every other crab that might be trying to climb out of the cage. So if
Yeah.
you are in a place where you want to help every other person, you want to help every other person, you end up being like those crab in that cage,
Mm-hmm.
because they
Mm-hmm.
will drown you. And also, like the other illustration you used about how if you find people drowning, like there was a massive um if there's like a disaster sort of, if
Mm-hmm.
as a guard, it is wiser that you save people that want to be saved first, people that are attempting to swim
Yeah.
first,
Yeah.
before you try to save other people that are not even making effort. Because if you don't
Yeah.
help those ones that are trying to swim first, you waste time and you cause more casualty. So just
Yeah.
realizing that you can't save everybody, save people that want to be saved, save people that want to be helped,
Yeah.
instead of trying to push save everybody, because you yourself might
Save
end up being
everybody.
drowned. Yeah.
Exactly. Wow. Thank you so much for that. I like the fact that you have enough details about each chapter. So let's go to chapter 6, unlock your productivity. Why I know that people are making effort and people are hustling, many people are not productive because
Mm,
productivity has results. If you say you are productive, it means you are able to produce something, you're able to maximize result in minimum time, which is very, very
yeah.
important. And they give us about 5 keys. Number one is be ruthless about your outcome. Do not just work for work's sake. Be ruthless about your outcome. Break down large income goals to smaller bits. If you want to make
Smaller
1
goals.
million in a year, how much do you need to make per month to make sure that it
Mm,
accumulates to a year? Is very, very important. So I'm a
very
big
important.
fan of setting goals, daily goals, monthly goals, yearly goals. It helps you keep track. You know already at the middle of the month if you are going to be able to meet the goal for the month. So yeah, you can
Mm,
re-strategize. Number two is stay laser beam focused. You have to be focused because if you chase whatever you focus on amplifies, becomes bigger. Focus on your energy, leave your weaknesses, delegate your weaknesses. Very important. Number three is I won't go into different examples. Structure your time like a
yeah.
billionaire. Make sure your time is well script your day intentionally. No, if for example, if this live session is not part of my day, will probably will not be here because I've planned my
Yeah.
day since you plan your day ahead so that you know. And because you have said we won't go past 1 hour, we cannot go past 1 hour so that we can
Mm,
get into something else. Structure your day. Avoid it will happen someday. There's nothing like someday. There's you have to set date and time to everything. Eliminate the 7 inner demons. So there are about 7 inner demons. If you have not read the book, go and read the book. The
yeah.
future, the idiot, the dumb listener, the excuse maker, beat them
The
by shortening.
perfectionist.
They are, yeah, the perfectionist,
Mm,
the lazy slacker. Are 7 inner
mm,
demons. Avoid them. And there was a book I read, FU Money. FU Money spoke about how to make money, but there's something he said. He said, whenever you procrastinate, you are giving your inner demon more strength.
mm,
Every time you procrastinate, you are empowering the weaknesses in you, the demon in you. So it's better you do it even if it's not perfect, than procrastinating it. Very, very important. And the last one is developing develop your negotiables. Develop
Mm.
that's your daily ritual that maintain your business, emotional, financial, physical well-being. You have to know what you can let go, what you can, what you have to focus on. You have to be clear. You might not be perfect every day, but there are some things that you know that if you don't do them over time, you feel bad, or you won't get a good result, or you won't achieve your goals. So there are some things you
Yeah.
just have to do. So let's go to chapter 7, unlock your
Okay.
sales.
Unlock your sales. Yeah, that was another very impactful, impactful chapter, and it talked about how people don't want to be sold to.
Yeah,
People don't want to be sold to. People want you to what's the word? People don't how did they even phrase it? And then it talked about how there are rules of closing this in, and how he prefers
yeah,
high ticket closing to the regular
yeah,
sales. That for high ticket closing, you are much more interested in your customer, seeing your client as an individual, solving a
yeah.
problem, not
Problem, yeah,
just pouring out what you think they want,
yeah.
actually listening to them. Don't just be the
Mm-hmm.
regular salesman that is just interested in saying this is what we are doing, this is what we are doing, we are going to solve this, we are going to solve that. Make them want that idea that you are selling. So it and then
Yeah,
I think that we talked about advertising, and how he made
yeah,
use of his how he made use of social media and every other thing to draw people in before he now have that call
mm-hmm.
with before he has the call with them that locks them
Yes,
in. So
true.
they know that it has value to offer them.
Mm-hmm.
You're not trying to sell your value to them. They know
Yeah,
that you have a value that you want to give them. And so they are much
interesting.
more interested in listening to what you have to give to them at that point, when they are the one that does the calling, instead of you being the one to call them to, and then start trying to pour, instead of you being the one to call them and start trying to, give them information. They know that
Mm-hmm.
you have, how do I put it? You have that value to offer
Yeah.
them. And I think that was what the chapter was really about.
Yeah,
The
that's
things
what
that
the
you can
chapter
do
is all
to
about.
Yes, the things that you can do
Yeah.
to
So and
sell your stuff.
yeah, yeah. So if you want to get more details about this chapter, which is very important for people, business owners, just go and read the book, chapter
Mm,
7, Unlock Your Sales.
yeah.
It will give you enough details. People really need to read that chapter. Then you also talk about chapter 8 now. Chapter 8, that's where we are going to be stopping today, which is unlock your business growth. So business people should just start from, even if you don't have the time, just go to chapter 7, chapter 8, chapter 9, and
Yeah.
see how, because
Chapter 9,
they
chapter
are
10.
all majored on money, business, and growth. So he spoke about to scale business sustainably. There's a way to
Mm,
scale business and to scale it sustainably. You must strengthen three pillars of your business. Number one is
yeah.
attraction. You have to know how to
Attraction.
attract customers. Marketing is math. Marketing is mathematics. You have to calculate it. If you know that every time you get 100 leads, you can only convert 20%, just know that for every 10 leads, you have two customers. There's no magic about it.
Mm,
Anytime you have more than that, sometimes you could have like five. It's luck. Your benchmark is two. Then you can now grow from that two to four sustainably. When you get to seven, you know that okay, every 10 customers, seven closes. So you have to do is
7 of
mathematics. Very, very important. Then retention. Many people always go for new clients. How about you find a way of retaining the previous client? Sometimes giving small gifts could be a way to retain your customers. It might not be big, it might just be appreciating them, it might just be getting their important dates, maybe anniversary, birthday, do a design for them. Let them feel important. Goes a long way. Then also optimizing, maximizing the lifetime value of every customer.
Optimization.
If you get a customer today, can you guarantee that that
Mm,
customer will stay with you for the next 2 years? Many people cannot. So many people
mm,
just get customers that can buy their product once, not realize that that same person can be with you for the next 10 years. If you realize that, you will treat our customers very, very well because they have a
yeah,
lifetime value,
yeah,
that they can offer. So we are going to stop this here because it's 1 hour already. I'm happy that we're able to cover
yeah.
major part of this book. If you have not read the book, I can
Yes.
guarantee that with everything we have said, you have a good idea of the book. Now, what I would advise you do is go and pick up the book, read, digest, and start taking action. It's not enough to read, but to
Yeah.
start taking action and apply it to your life and to your business. Thank you. I see that two people stayed with us from the beginning of this book review until now. Thank you so much. We would love to
Thank
hear from you. Drop a
you.
comment, drop a message, send us a message. Let's know that let's know who you are. I would probably do this every month if possible. We'll try to see how we can give. This is valuable, I believe so. So please pick up the
Yeah.
book and read. Faithfulness, do you have anything to say before we end this session?
Thank you for listening to us. Thank you for staying tuned to the book. I feel like the book is, outside even business owners, I feel like the book is instrumental to everybody because we all have
Yeah.
something that we all have values that we are turning out to people. So it's important that everybody reads the book. I mean, I saw things that I'll have to apply to my life as an individual. I saw things that I'll have to change, things that are structures that I have to put in place personally. So I think that it is a must read for every individual out there. Yeah, thank you very much for this privilege. I'm grateful.
Thank you so much. Oh, Faithful, have you read the book before?
No, I have not. I just read it for the first time
Oh,
this
okay.
last month.
Okay. All right. All right. Thank you, Faithful. We'll talk later. Thank you, Sweeter
Yeah.
Event. I got so much value. Sweeter Event is saying I got so much value. Oh, great. Thank you so much for joining
Oh,
us.
thank you
All
so
right,
much.
Faithfulness. Yeah, we'll catch you later.
Yeah, yeah, bye.